Alrighty, what's up? What's up, everybody? Jonathan here with Boston Collectors, and today's review is gonna be all about the Armorer. So, I'm super happy to finally have her in my collection. Big advocate for Sideshow as well. We have the Sideshow exclusive. Shout out to them. I'm a big advocate for a lot of up and comers and everything like that, but when it comes to the OGs, Sideshow, they got my support. So, getting into the box here, we're very familiar with this. I really hope to continue, I hope they continue rather, this whole cigar wrap here because that looks really cool, right? I love the coloring and everything. It's so flawless with this particular figure. We also have the furnace in the back there where she created the armor and repaired the armor and all that good stuff. TMS 044, the armor, obviously, movie masterpiece. Down here at the bottom, it's interesting that it's movie masterpiece when it's television masterpiece up here. So I wonder why that is. But getting back to the box, we have the sticker there, Sideshow exclusive. And on the other side, usually it's just the TMS number as well as, the name there. So you don't really get too much going on. And then on the back, as you can see, I have a massive ding there, which is rather unfortunate, but as long as it's not the front, I'm fine. But I would have liked it not to be on the back either. Television Masterpiece Series. Now that's on the back. We have the TMS there on the back, but it's interesting. I don't see Movie Masterpiece anywhere. Television Masterpiece Series. Yeah, I don't see it here on the back unless I'm overlooking it. Then on the front, again, Movie Masterpiece. I don't know. We're not here to argue about the discrepancies, right? It's just very interesting to see that. Anyway, beautiful picture here. We have the gunmetal gray. We have the black down the middle. We have the Star Wars engraved logo there on the front. And then this beautiful gradient up into the figure. It's perfect. It's right in the middle. This right here is a box. All right. This might be one of the better ones this year. I don't know. Maybe it's just because you have the X and it looks so beautiful. So let's go ahead and get into the art print. And we have the art print here, which looks really cool. I think she comes with this. I'm not certain. I feel like this should be coming with Beskar Mando, but I wouldn't be mad if they didn't give it with her. And we'll get into that later on in the video, but beautiful art print. It's not too much going on. I think I would have liked maybe some sparks or something there, with the photoshoppers out there in the world, whoever put this piece together, just to sort of enact her hammering that away. Her hand looks a little bit too loose there and a little bit too loose here as well. Maybe turning that, I don't know. It's a good looking image though, but I personally wouldn't put this one up. I feel like the box print is a lot better. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box. And right away, we have the figure. There it is. We do have the Beskar. Nice. So let's go ahead and let's free her, shall we? Let's get rid of this box and get rid of this plastic layer. And here we go. So there is another layer, and that feels like it might be the cardboard underneath. It's sort of like, I feel like it's taped. Yeah, it's taped kind of weird under there. I wish they would have did that a little bit better, but let's jump straight into the figure because holy cow, these colors. Look at that. Ready? Oh, look at that. Wow. Beautiful. Look at that wash too. I love that bronzy look. You see it kind of catching the light there? Really nice. These colors are beautiful. I don't know how I feel about the cowl here on the back. I believe that's called a cowl. That's a two-piece sort of thing there. I was hoping that they would give her, I heard that she comes with a waist grabber. I would like to have had something underneath to sort of cradle that because I'm not a big fan of the other part down there. But the only reason I heard that is because a lot of people are starting to get their figures in, and I guess we'll get into that in a bit. But holy cow, does she look amazing? So let's go ahead and let's start this review, shall we? You all know how this goes. Let's jump into the accessories. Alrighty, so I want to start off with the best piece, in my opinion, that I saw when opening this. Now, again, I'm going to bring this up in a much later video. Again, channel updates. Check that out. This will be one of the things that I talk about in an upcoming video. Holy moly, do I love this base design. We also have the armor there on the bottom. This can come off if you like it too. Maybe you want to refresh the plate or something. You want something a little bit snazzier. That can definitely come off, and it clips right back in. Really nice plate. Next up, we have the hip grabber here. Again, you pinch, bring that up, good to go. These little grooves down here, that will snap into the grates in order to hold it in place. The figure goes through there. Bob's your uncle. We also have the instructions. This is just more, they show you like two hands work with everything. And then for the most part, it's all, be careful or else you'll damage the figure. There's nothing really much going on in there other than that. Next up, we also have the pegs. Again, accidents happen. Hot Toys is making sure that they don't. Alrighty, and here we have the hands. Now we're gonna go ahead and start with the left hands first. Again, we sort of have this hand where she's holding the ladle, the tongs. We have another hand where she can hold it as a weapon. And then we also have another one, which I think is, again, for maybe the Beskar or, something like that. And for the right hand, we just have one hand. Very similar to the other one where, she can hold something as a weapon and Bob's her uncle. But it's very odd. We did not get fists with this, but we did get relaxed hands on the figure itself. Here we have the Beskar chest piece, which look at that. That looks cool. This looks very similar to the one on the OG Mando. I love the look of it, though. Looks really nice. Same nicks, same dings, same all of that. There you go on the back. Pretty cool. It's not die cast, though. This is pure plastic, so keep that in mind. We also have a couple tools here. We have the ladle, which it already came with the Beskar in it. Me personally, I would have liked if that were maybe magnetic or something, because I would have wanted that to be empty personally. Then you also have the hammer there. None of this have any wear and tear on it. Like, yes, you do see some paint apps on there in terms of like, it looks like a slightly rustic wash, but that's kind of it. Like, I feel like if you've been using these tools for a long time, there will be some wear, maybe. I don't know. Are these like Beskar on Beskar just doesn't damage each other? I don't know. It's interesting. I would have liked to see a little bit more. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. We also have the tongs here. This is very flimsy. I think I would have wanted this to be a bit harder, but this feels very cheap, chintzy. I'd be very, very, very careful with these, though, specifically. When you close it all the way, you sort of get this weird cross between the two, rather than closing them all the way and they remain straight. It's kind of weird. I'm not a big fan of this, but, we still have that wash, though, going on. Again, like if you're using Beskar or something like that, right? Speaking of Beskar, this is the Beskar piece. We've seen this before in Beskar Mando. Like, again, if you're using these tongs here, right, to, I guess, melt it down, right? You have no bluing, no nothing, or I don't know, maybe the flame on Beskar just doesn't work that way. I don't know. Any Beskar nerds out there that can help me with understanding that a bit better? And we also have the blowtorch. Now, this for sure could have had a bit more weathering on it. Unless, of course, you just don't use these often. I feel like for sure you could have had some weathering going on there on the handle, since that's leather. But here it's sculpted plastic, but it's meant to be leather, right? I'd imagine so. Now we do have a bit more weathering going on there, which you'll be able to see a bit better in the details section. But again, no sort of bluing on the tip there. I don't know. It's a little strange. It's a cool accessory though. Don't get me wrong. All of these are awesome. Just I think I would have liked to have seen a bit more. I don't know. Again, am I crazy though? Let me know what you all think down below. And here we have the backsplash. First off, let's talk about the front. So you've got this really cool looking, the front door, if you will. You've also got the, I believe this is the Minotaur on the front there, their insignia. I could be wrong with that as well. But, you know, it looks cool opening it up. You get to see all of her tools and everything back there. You get the sort of cool looking glow, which looks very realistic. And this could look very realistic in toy photography. So if you have it far back enough, honestly, if you especially hide those, you don't want those to be up there and her holding the other tools, right? Unless, you know, they could be considered backup as well. You know, do your thing. You know, photography is all about imagination. And, you know, you've got the bottom part here to act as if, I guess, they're drawers or something, or maybe it's just helping it stand up. This is really cool. I like it. Me personally, though, I don't use these. And I guess I just wish that maybe it came with a structure that, you know, allowed you to put, you know, her tools in there or something like that. Maybe like something that could stand up, or, you know, considering she's an exclusive, maybe something like that would allow us to do it. But at the same time, I'm not too upset about it. It looks cool. You've got this sort of standard black going on the back there. I don't know. Do you all use these? Do you keep them in the box? Do you put them in your DTOF or what? I'd like to know. Alrighty, so here we have the Armorer's helmet. It's not a lot to go over, but there are some really, really cool features that I do want to point out. First off, that beautiful golden bronzy color, the wash to her helmet. So, so beautiful. I love the dimensions there on the front of her visor. The visor too, which kind of reminds me of Casca and Bo-Katan. Not only that, those super, super cool horns that we see on top. You have sort of the higher ones there, and then you have the two sort of in the middle, and then you have like one smaller nub there in the middle as well. Now, I also wanted to position the light in a way where you could totally get a feel for the dimensions and the head sculpt here in the cheek, and just that beautiful highlight on top of her head there. So as we turn on the turntable, there we go. You get a feel for the side portion there on her ears, and the vent, I want to say the ventilation portion on the back there is just flawless. The lighting underneath the helmet, the way that it sort of highlight that helmet as well, is so beautifully. My goodness. They knocked this one out of the park. Man, oh man, I hope you all didn't sleep on this one. I know she doesn't come with double jointed elbows and knees and all that good stuff, but come on, it's the Armorer, right? You can't deny the Armorer. Beautiful, beautiful helmet. And not to mention, you know, I've noticed that a lot of them, it's like distinctive to them and their character. And this is one that I'm glad that I grabbed. Alrighty, so starting here at the bottom of the figure, I wanted to point out the boots first. You've got this really cool leg warmer style contraption going on here. This is plastic, by the way. That's sculpted plastic. That's not going to be any pleather or anything to that effect. You've got this really cool ball joint going on in that ankle area there, which I think is super cool. This might appear as if you can sort of like flex that joint in the midsection of her foot, but you actually can't. Now, the leg warmers, which I'm going to air quote because I'm pretty sure I'm wrong there. So there's a band underneath it, similar to the band that you see on Lando Calrissian's shoulders, in order for him to hold that cape together. There's sort of a feature underneath it to keep that in place. So as we start to go up, this is sculpted plastic that is not pleather, so you don't have to take extra care of that. Now, the pants are very standard. You know, you don't have anything crazy cool going on there. In fact, it's very reminiscent to the same fabric that we see on Beskar Mando and the OG Beskar Durasteel Mando. Now, as we start to ease up, this is where it gets super cool. You've got this awesome wash going on there on the wrist guards. You also have like this really cool worn leathery style look to the gloves. All of that is plastic, by the way, except for this awesome skirt, which that's pleather. Now, as we turn the turntable on, check out that awesome, sorry, I just ended up like getting mesmerized by the craftsmanship of that skirt there. I love that it's not finished all the way around. You've got this really cool tail-like situation going on in the back. And not to mention, if we look at the waist, those really cool gadgets that she's got going on. There are a couple features on it where I guess if you wanted to, maybe you could put a couple of her weapons there, but that part of it, that fabric is so thin that you got to be very careful not to tear that. Me personally, I'm not going to be using it, but I feel like it's there for you to use if you chose to, but I'd be careful if I were you. Very careful. So as we start to ease on up, this cowl here is kind of weird. It's a little funky to me because I've only handled this figure maybe a good 4 times, and there's just a lot of hair kind of falling out of it. I find it to be a little odd, but for you Han and Chewie folks, let me know what you think out there. Like, is it the same? If you have this figure, is it not? I'm hearing kind of differing opinions about that. So I stopped the turntable here to point out the that chest armor. Incredible. I love rosy color style things. And again, like if we talk about what we mentioned earlier with the helmet, they all seem to have their own unique style when it comes to that helmet and when it comes to their armor. Now, the armor seem to only have like that protective layer is her chest, right? So it's protecting her chest cavity and a little bit of her back as well. But then on top of that, you have these really cool shoulder guards as well. And those can come out, but me personally, I'm not going to take them out. And then this shot right here, I feel like this is the money shot. This is definitely a money shot, but turning on that rotating table so that we can get a feel for that helmet, that chest piece, and that cowl. Just, that's the armor. I don't like how flat the cowl look. It looks so one-dimensional, just flat. I wish there were maybe like some better looking layers in it, maybe a little bit fluffier, but I'm a little concerned about it, especially with those flyaways as well. I mean, I do have some precision scissors to sort of clip down those wonky looking flyaways that are on the front part of this figure. Other than that though, holy cow. So personally, I'm giving this figure a 4 out of 5. Before we really start diving into the pros and cons, I disagree with the notion that the armor didn't come with enough accessories. A lot of the accessories we see her use came through Din Djarin in the show, which is in the Beskar Mando Deluxe set. I personally feel like everything that she comes with now is actually complete for her as a character. The cons of this piece for me is that it is not a double jointed figure. Considering we did actually see her in action in The Mandalorian, you would think that a double jointed figure would make sense. I'm also a bit bummed that she doesn't have butterfly joints in her shoulders. I do feel like her accessory should have came a bit more weathered considering she is an armorer. Unless, of course, Beskar on Beskar or Beskar on Durasteel, don't add any wear and tear to her tools. If not, at least a bit more weathering on the handle of her blowtorch at least. On the plus side, she poses well, she looks amazing, and she looks phenomenal leading the Coven on my shelf. Not only that, her base is amazing. I love the overall design of it, and just the overall rustic feature and how it mimicked the scene and her armor color. I wouldn't sleep on this figure if I were you. I really do feel we'll get to see a bit more of her in the future. It may not be in the next season of The Mandalorian, but I really do feel we'll learn more about her later on, and people will regret not picking up this piece. This is Jonathan with Boston Collectors, and if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop.